Welcome, everyone. It is yet time for another presidential forum, and thank you for coming in person. I am aware that folks tend to watch these after the fact and that they can't always get here. For those of you who are watching after the fact, you're missing really good snacks. In fact, like my favorite cinnamon toast from the corner bakery. Yeah, oh, it's so good. Now, if we had a little toaster and a little schmear of cream cheese, we can make that happen. Anyway, so as you know, we have a monthly forum, and the goal of the forum is to share information. And I really see it as a great way for folks to hear about what's happening in other parts of the college. And today, we are going to hear from our folks out at Non-Credit in the Community Education Center. And it's really good because I know some of us here maybe have never even stepped foot on that campus, right? Maybe, I don't know. There's a lot of amazing work going on, especially right now, because a lot of colleges, I mean, this college has always had a great investment in non-credit. Other colleges are starting to get an investment in it and are starting to think, hey, you know, we might be able to do some great things through non-credit. This college has been way ahead of the pack for many years. And so the nice thing is we've got, you know, that cake completely baked. And what we're going to hear today is about all the amazing frosting that is out there and really what some of our potential is and where we're going to grow. And so it's really important that we all know that. And I will tell you that a lot of colleges across the state are reporting, yeah, you know, we actually grew this semester, we grew this year. And if you take a look at their data, you know where they're growing? They're growing in non-credit. It's where a lot of growth is. And so a really important part of our campus. So with that, I am going to introduce Dr. Francisco Suarez and Ashley Mejia, who are going to present on our amazing program. So with that, take it away.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone. Oh, no, don't worry about it. That helped a lot. They took extra 30 seconds of my time. Yes. Right? Well, thank you so much for coming today, and I appreciate your presence. As Dr. Andrew Jonas mentioned, we are experiencing a growth in non-credit. So we really want to expose and present some of the great things that we're doing in our division. But before we start that, not to shame anyone, but who has gone to the Foothill campus? Who has? Okay. There's a few that have not. Okay. Please feel free to reach us. We'll give you a tour. More than happy to provide you a tour of the facility for you to understand what we do in that area. But before we start, I really want to share a success story of one of our students who went through our non-credit division and experiencing a great success, not only academically, but personally. So Ingrid Flores is one of our students that went in to CC, enrolled in ESL, went through all the sequence of ESL, and also enrolled for a high school diploma program. She graduated for the high school diploma program and proceeded to transfer to PCC and graduated with 3 associate degrees. What an accomplishment, right? From coming to Mexico, 20 years old, without knowing English, and being able to achieve that. But she didn't stop that. She transferred to Costa LA and earned her bachelor's in social work, and is currently working on a master's degree in sociology. So this is just one example of how our non-credit programs really positively impact our students' lives, but not only themselves, but trajectory, generations of their family. They get a better job, they can provide better for the family. So it's very important to know that non-credit is not just an enrichment area, but it's an area that a lot of students really are taking upon advantage to transition or to learn and expand their world in academics. So non-credit, as I said, non-credit education has become a top choice for many students from all walks of life. For some, non-credit education is a pathway to re-enter the workforce. They want additional training. For others, non-credit program is a second opportunity, such as getting the high school diploma. If they didn't get an opportunity to get it when they were younger, this is a second chance for them to get a high school diploma or get their GED. And for others, this part of non-credit education provides that enrichment opportunity. Who wants to learn a new skill? Who wants to learn, be part of an activity, or they want to develop that social network? Many of our students do come to our classes not only to learn, but also to build upon the social capital, be able to have that support network with their peers or even with their instructors. So having said that, I want to share the large scale that we have at CEC. CEC is not just a regular academic division, it's actually a large scale operation. We have our own instructions, we have our own student services. So we have counseling, we have a counseling department, we have our own admissions and records, we have our own student success, and we have an assessment center. So we do assess our students for us to see their progress, or for the student to be placed in a course, such as ESL, which is now recommended and still required. So these are just some of the things that I want to share of how big of operation we run at CEC. But what is non-credit now? That's a question for you. What do you think, when you hear non-credit, what is it? If you've heard of non-credit. Oh, that's good, yes. You've done your homework. Yes. Okay. Good. Good options. Thank you. Good options. Who else? Yes.
I think of pleading to credit.
Yes. That's a good one.
They don't receive transferable credits that you learn, pass on pass, but you don't get transferable credit.
Very good. Yeah. Very good. Yes, Sarah. Yes. Everything is correct. So non-credit is, we have an array of programs within yes.
Professionals from other countries in nursing and technology and engineering transitioning to careers in this country to support our economy and our institutions here.
Correct. And by the way, this is one of our department chairs, ESL department chair, Caroline Corey. Good answer, Caroline. I was wondering. So non-credit, as we look at the slide, it's just an array of courses that we provide that are 0 units. There's not credit bearing. It's not transferable to the college, but it's a great place for students to start exploring some of the options before they transfer to our credit courses and start encountering some, start applying for financial aid, start paying for their courses. And also the non-credit, just like it says there, is a point of entry for a lot of our students to the educational arena. We get a lot of students that come in, and that is the first port of entry to be exposed to the American educational system. So that's what we consider a non-credit. We have many programs that we'll go over, but just in an overview, that is what non-credit is in the state. Oh, can I move from here? Yeah, pressing the arrow, but it's not. Technical difficulties, sorry. Oh, there we go. That's where it is. I need to go back. I need to go back to non-credit and take a computer class to enhance my skills. There we go. So these are some of the benefits of non-credit for students. One of our colleagues shared, it's free. Students don't have to re-encounter any kind of financial burden. In fact, because of some of our funding, categorical funding, we're able to buy books or supplies for students to use in the classroom. So we're able to help them with that burden in case they can't buy a book. Right now with the book voucher, that has helped us a lot, but once that goes away, we do have other means in which we can support our students in the classroom. Open entry, open exit. We have open enrollment. So students can enroll all the way into the last week of instruction if they want to, and they can repeat the course. So it's not structured as the credit courses that we're accustomed that there's a specific date when you register, a specific date when you get dropped, or the last date to register, right? Our courses are flexible, open entry, open exit. We have a robust class schedule that offers students the opportunities for them to choose what's best for them. We could be a class that could be 4 days a week, twice a week, once a week, on the weekends, morning, evenings. So we cover an array of schedules for students to have options. The other thing is our students, another benefit for our students is that because we have our own area, a student can utilize our own counseling department. So they don't have to come here and get lost perhaps and get frustrated or trying to find the counseling department, but rather they could just go and see our counselors at our site. We do have 2 tenure full-time counselors and 1 DSPNS full-time tenure counselor. Well, now tenure, just that you granted tenure. Yes. We focus on goal attainment. Many students come in with a personal or academic goal, so we're there to support them. The other thing is that we prepare students, or we create pathways to credit programs, for example, CTE. Many of our students want to take our computer classes because they want to see if that's a fit for them before they transition to credit. And once they figure that out with the support of counseling, they can transition directly into credit into a academic pathway that is related to computers if that's what they wish for. So these are just some of the benefits that our non-credit program provides to students. There's so many more, but of course it will take us a whole hour to go over them. So I just wanted to provide some of them for you to get an idea of what are some of the goals for a non-credit. Now, what kind of programs do we offer in non-credit? We have a variety of programs, and we cover all spectrums of life, from 0 months to 100 years old. So we have the adult high school diploma, which we consider adult secondary education. The high school diploma program is connected to adult education, adult basic education, which includes reading and writing, and the GED prep courses. So these courses are considered adult basic education. Students have the opportunity to get the high school diploma. If they went to school in the US, but they, for whatever reason, they dropped and they did not complete, they can bring the transcript. Our counselors evaluate that transcript and let them know exactly how many credits they have still to complete, but they could get credit from those courses that they took in the previous high school. If they come from another country and they have their grades or the classes and grades, counselors can evaluate that as well, and they could receive credits for those particular courses. So it's very important that students know that adult high school diploma, you don't have to start from 0. If you have previous academic history, especially in high school, you can be granted those credits. We also have ESL, which is our largest program right now. We continue experiencing a growth on that area. We continue opening classes last minute, right, Caroline? But we have a good problem. We don't have any more space. So we're probably going to get some tents and have classes outside. I'm just kidding. So, you know, that's a good problem to have. So we have 2 types of ESL. We have regular ESL, English second language classes, but also what we call vocational ESL, which focuses on a particular field. So we have ESL VESL for health, and also we have VESL for childcare. So the vocabulary and the instruction is surrounded within that specific topic. Would you like to share a little more about that? Thank you.
Hi, I'm Carolyn Corey, and I'm the faculty chair for non-credit ESL and vocational ESL. And as Dr. Suarez was saying, we have certain classes that focus on helping students obtain the vocabulary and language skills for a particular field. So the healthcare class, which I taught for 7 years, I saw students coming in from other countries that had a degree and work experience in a career like nursing or pharmacy, biomedical engineering, and they just needed to be able to use the English for that field and learn how to get their degrees evaluated and other steps they might need to take to work here. But I also would get students that took it because they want to talk to their doctor or the pharmacist, and once they were in the class and they learned about the career opportunities in the health sciences here, they decided to change careers and start a health career here. Similar for our childcare program, and then we also have vocational ESL work readiness for people not in healthcare or childcare, but that want to learn general workplace vocabulary and also how to do a resume, cover letter, job interview, etc. So if you run across students who are multilingual and want to work on their English skills to get a job here, that's a great program. Also want to point out we have flyers for all of our programs on the table in the back, so if you guys want to take those with you and share them with your departments and students, we would really, really appreciate that. Thank you.
Yes. Can I ask a question? Sure. And It's to you. So years ago, there was, I don't know if it was a state law or they were talking about requiring hospitals to have healthcare translators because, what was happening is a family would come in and they'd, go and get somebody who works in facilities because that was the only person who spoke Spanish or their child, and there were HIPAA and other concerns. Has there been an ebb and flow in terms of hospitals actually wanting to train people to be those translators, or have you not heard anything about that?
Thank you. Yeah, it is a requirement that hospitals provide it. They are able to do it now virtually, right? So they can call translators. They don't need to have them in person. But thank you for raising that because we actually have another 2 programs in non-credit for translation. So one is an introduction to medical translation, and the other is an introduction to legal translation. So again, it's a way for students to take a free course to see if that type of career is interesting for them and to kind of learn the basics in those skills. So if you know of anyone who's already fluent in both English and another language, this is a great way just to try out medical interpretation and legal interpretation. And there's flyers for those in the back as well. So thank you.
Thank you. There we go. Moving on. So the other type of programs that we have is career technical education, which is short-term vocational careers in areas that goes from medical translation, just like Caroline mentioned, to general office clerk, graphic design, basic bookkeeping, and all the students who take these courses get a certificate of completion once they complete the required courses and they passed it. So these are we also have older adults at the convalescent homes nearby, so we have partnerships in the community. We have parenting education for parents to really get hands-on on how to raise their kids from 0 months to about 11 to 13. We offer immigrant education. We offer citizenship classes where students can learn about the U.S. government and be able to practice for the interview and the test. And also we have courses for adults with disabilities. Now, right now that you asked a question about the hospitals, we have an MOU in the pipeline with Huntington Hospital who are requesting to have our courses at their facilities. So we'll be training their staff either by providing ESL courses, and perhaps it will be one of the vocational ESL classes for health and computer classes. So those are some of the partnerships that we are trying to connect based on our programs and a need in the community. Now, what is the difference between credit and non-credit? So this is a good chart for you to see some of the differences that we have. One of the differences is that obviously we do not provide any degrees or certificates with a degree or a unit attached to it, but we do provide certificates, what we call certificate of competency and certificate of completion. For the most part, certificates of competency are provided to ESL students or any other courses that are not associated with short-term vocational courses. And certificate of completion are those certificates granted to students who complete any kind of short-term vocational, such as the computer programs that I mentioned before. The other thing that we don't use a traditional grading scale, except for high school diploma program. For the most part, we use what we call grading indicators, which are P for passing, SP for satisfactory progress, and MP for not passing. We have something similar, which is we do have our own transcript. So our students request to have a record of their own academic journey within our non-credit. They could request a copy of the non-credit transcript, and they can have separate transcripts if they already took some credit courses. We generate apportionment through CDCP, which is Career Development and College Preparedness. And what that means is that we create certificates within for short-term vocation or for a competency, and that certificate will have to contain at least 2 courses in a sequence. Now, the way the institution benefits fiscally is that those courses that are part of a certificate, they are a portion or they're granted the same FTE as the credit, which is roughly above $6,000 now, like this, I think. So that's one of the things that we bring to the college is that all of the FTEs collected through the courses that are part of a CDCP, we bring the same apportionment as the credit, even though it's a non-credit course. Students, one of the main things that we offer is that it's free for students. It's no charge, no financial aid included. And our emphasis is mostly on hours. So our curriculum has the same rigor as the credit. It goes through the same approval process, but we don't focus on units as credit does. We focus on hours. So our courses had a different attached number of hours of instruction that the student has to meet. So that's another great thing of the flexibility of non-credit, that we could have the range of hours. So a class could be created for 25 to 50 hours, but you don't have to schedule the class for 50 hours. You could just schedule it for any hours between that time frame. So that's another flexibility that we have within non-credit. Now, as we talked earlier, and Dr. Androjonas mentioned, we're experiencing a growth in non-credit. And I wanted to share with you some of the numbers of how we are growing, at least for the past year, since I came on board. We really focus a lot of our efforts and energy in marketing. So with a collective collaboration with our faculty and staff, working together to create ideas of how to really increase our enrollment. We came up with many ideas that I'll share later on, but these are just some of the fall-to-fall comparison for enrollment and headcount. So fall 2021 as compared to fall 2022, headcount is unduplicated students. We have about a little over 1,500 students in fall 2021. As compared to fall 2022, we jumped 40% to 2,136. Same thing happened in spring, which the fall for enrollments. Enrollments is the number of courses the student is enrolled. So one student could be enrolled in 2 or 3 or 4 classes, right? So for enrollments on fall 2021, we have a little over, close to 2,500 enrollments. As compared to fall 2022, we have close to 3,500. So it's roughly about 40% as well. So like I said before, this definitely describes that good problem that we have of running out of room. Even though the demand is there, we no longer have a room. So that's why we're trying to create these community partnerships so we can send some of our courses to the community. Now, a comparison for spring. For the most part, or traditionally, spring semester as compared to fall, we experience a decline of enrollment for the most part. However, it has been the opposite on our non-credit program. We jump about 82% in enrollment. So for spring 2022 or spring 2023, headcount by itself, we experienced 55% increase. So we went from a little over 1,400 students to about close to 2,200 students. Same thing, enrollments. We went from 2,176 to close to 4,000 enrollments. So we know that. And growing, yes. I'm like, yes. I'm speaking loud enough. And that was as of last Friday, correct. So this week, we had an influx of students coming in through our Student Success Center requesting to apply and register. So I know these numbers may be a little different for today, yes.
Where did those students come from? Did they learn from somewhere in the community? Like, how did they find out?
So we provide a great customer service at our non-credit division. So, thank you. So what it is that that's one, and all realness, that is one. But another thing is that we're experiencing an influx of students from Croatia, Ukraine, and Russia. So that's another, immigration has been a big component of this growth. But also, we have removed some of the barriers for students to enroll. Before, we used to request ad codes. So that was one of the things that we removed for our students to have easy access to our classes. Even though the class or the semester has started, in the past, we required ad codes even if the class was still open and it was not full to capacity. So removing that ad code definitely facilitated enrollment and experiences for students to continue enrolling into those classes. So we made it easier for our students. That doesn't mean that we have a perfect system. We're still working through some of the challenges to continue removing some more barriers. But I think one barrier at a time has facilitated that kind of growth that we're experiencing in non-credit. So these are just some of the numbers I can provide on the growth we're having right now. We're hoping that we'll continue growing, especially with our partnerships coming along with the MOUs. We'll definitely have increase of enrollment for ESL and CTE. Yes. Yes. Thank you. Yes. You want to take it?
There's no formal census, so it's daily attendance.
Yes. So most of our apportionment is through positive attendance. That is correct. And the reason we removed the code, like Dr. Ramirez mentioned, is because our courses are open entry. They don't have a specific date of registration and closing date. So students should have the right or that opportunity to enroll at any given time if that class is open. If it's not open, it's completely full to capacity, that's when we request an ad code, but it's a little different. We do want to have our courses to be open to the community as long as we can, and removing the ad code definitely facilitated that. So we wanted to provide the students that opportunity to enroll at any given time. And thank you for approving that, by the way. By the way. Now, how do we get to where we at now? Like I said, it's taken a lot of work. Nothing is easy. It has taken a lot of work, but it mostly has taken a huge collaboration with the faculty and staff. Faculty and staff have been tremendous on supporting our efforts for marketing, on trying to go to community events on the weekends, on Sundays, raining, sun, hot, summer. Everybody was willing to pitch in and all hands on deck on be able to advertise our programs and increase our visibility in the community. So these are just some of the events or some of the things that we've done using our funds to inform our community about our programs and services. One of the main things that we have, for the first time ever, we have 2 billboards right outside our facility. And there's a copy, just one of the billboards that we have posted outside our CEC, and that's Ingrid Flores, the example that I provided earlier. So she is definitely a good success story to highlight to the community. The other picture that we have was the Latinx event that we have here at PCC. We were here with the faculty and staff. We took turns passing out flyers. It was very successful. We sent a trilingual postcard to the community. We want to be intentional on how we reach to our students in their own language. So the majority of our students speak either Mandarin or Spanish. So we wanted to be intentional that any communication that goes out to their homes, that they will be reading in their own language to catch their interest. So we have Mandarin and Spanish, and that's a postcard that went out last fall. The other picture, when we participated at the Latino Heritage Parade that happened at Villa Park. So we provided flyers and swag. We ran out of swag, by the way. And then the other picture was the Black family reunion here on campus. We also were present. And the last picture in the corner, it's our last event that we had, which was a resource fair at CEC. So these are just a few of the events that we have participated. Some of the staff have gone to churches, being outside mass, and just passing out flyers. So it's really talking to students and communicating what kind of services we offer. And you'll be surprised. Many of our students respond, oh, I didn't know this, you had these great programs, even though they lived in Pasadena for so long. So this is how some of the things or some of the marketing techniques that we have implemented so far that has contributed to the jump in enrollment that we're experiencing. Questions? Perfect. Now, community partnerships. Our programs, non-credit, I believe strongly that they should be part of the community, that should be embedded in the community. So for us to be embedded in the community and be part of the community, we have to create partnerships. And these are just some of the partnerships that we currently have MOUs with. We provide either parenting courses, we provide older adult courses, we also provide ESL courses, computer courses, and then we have 2 upcoming MOUs with the Huntington Hospital and the Pasadena Altadena Transformative Learning Center. That was a full mouth. A nonprofit organization that reached out to us that they wanted to provide our courses in their facility. So these are just the MOUs. Yesterday I got a phone call from Santa Anita that they want to also partner, so we're going to start working with them as well to expand that part of our service area. So we continue to grow, and we think that community partnerships are very important to our programs. It contributes to our growth, but also we provide what really the community needs. We try to address and we try to be intentional on reaching as many people as we can within the community. So just to give an idea, we have quite a few partnerships, and we continue growing on that end. Oh, I told you I need to enroll in computer classes. And now we have Ashley will go over the student services.
Hi, everyone. So kind of how it's been explained, it really takes a village to have this all run. And we do have our own major village of student services. So a big part of our success, as was kind of mentioned, is our customer service. For the most part, most students really find out about us because of their friends. Friends, family, they all kind of come and say, they've really helped me there. One of the first stops that most students make is to our Student Success Center. Our Student Success Center gives one-on-one assistance when it comes to applications, when you're trying to register for classes. Because our growth has been so drastic, even in the past semester, we've had to actually do more of a triage situation where we have workshops for students on applications, on how to use your Lancer Point, how to use Canvas, different areas so that they can actually go over each individual thing. Because of a lot of our students are also, in certain cases, still building their digital literacy skills. We have paper applications for them that are translated in both translated in Mandarin and Spanish. And then we have someone go over with them on the computer, making sure that everything's been entered properly. So they're also learning how to actually utilize online applications. So they receive application assistance, support with referrals to other student services. So oftentimes students might not necessarily know what other services are available to them. It might be their first time taking any classes in the United States. So really just becoming acclimated to what a college looks like in the United States is kind of what the Success Center helps students navigate with. Within that same lab, we do offer tutoring assistance. So during different times of the day, students can come in on a drop-in basis to receive tutoring support. And then we also have a computer lab so that students can either work on their classwork, print out different materials that they need. As already has been mentioned, we have our own admissions and records as well. So just to talk about the scope of how big it is, this past year, just in this academic year, there's been 972 processed applications. So that's a very busy group. Of those, so far, we have 116 processed certificates. So as was already mentioned, there's a slew of different certificate options available to students. And as of now, just as of the summer and fall graduates, we have 23 processed diplomas, but we expect to have 95 graduates this year. In our tutoring department, we offer tutoring for our high school classes, GED, ESL, and we also have a mix of integrated tutoring or kind of like embedded tutors. And then students are also coming into the Success Center receiving drop-in assistance. This year alone, we've had 126 visits to the Student Success Center, and we're expecting to get more of that because we've actually had to expand our evening hours. One of the biggest things that you'll see on here is that our services are open later than most places on campus. A lot of our students are working adults, so we're open until 7:30 every day, Monday through Thursday. And then we're open the first 3 Saturdays of each session. So also unique to non-credit, we have 8-week sessions. So every 8 weeks, there's a new slew of students. So we offer services over the weekend as well, just in case students need assistance with applications or would like to meet with a counselor. We also discussed assessment. So a lot of our students, although it's not required as placement, it is definitely used to help advise students and also track progress. So as we talked about growth, even just from last year to this year, we had 491 enrollees last year, so students who took a test, and 87 that took testing to progress check, which was only about 17%. This year, so far, at the exact same time, we have 1,202 enrollees and 628 students that have taken both tests, which increases our percentage to 52. So we're seeing a really big increase in how many assessments we're able to offer, and making sure that we're really intentional with making that students are not just really intimidated by this. So starting in the next 2 weeks, we're actually going to be pairing our counselor visits with our assessments so that all students are receiving a general overview of the student services available, and making sure that the counselors are part of that process and providing a warm handoff to assessment, so it takes off some of that test anxiety, also makes them feel that there really is a village there to make sure that they're doing well. In terms of our success coaches, it's actually our first year implementing success coaches in non-credit. So in the past fall semester, we had 124 visits to our success coaches, and just in this spring, we've had 219, which is about a 76% increase. So students are really utilizing this service, if we actually look at the numbers, we see a lot of our ESL students actually coming in and trying to figure out how can I, utilize the services, how do I actually transfer. Of the visits they've had with the success coaches, just in fall semester alone, we had 7 students that met with the success coach and have already transferred to PCC credit this semester. Yeah. As far as our counseling, we do have our own counseling department. So in this past year, we've had 1,302 student contacts. They help with educational plans, as I've already mentioned, the in-class orientations that are now taking place in conjunction with other student services. And then we're also planning our own graduation. So our graduation will be taking place on May 10th. And students have access, of course, to a full-time DSPS counselor. We also offer personal counseling, so students are able to come in and receive at least 3 visits with our own personal counselor, and anything above that, they can be referred to other agencies. Additionally, on the job and career services, if students are ready to transition into the workforce and need additional assistance with their resumes or want to do mock interviews, we have a job developer who will actually be here next week for the career fair, so please stop by. And in general, as we've already spoken about, it really is an entire village of student services that really, really care about our students succeeding. So they're out there marketing with folks, they're in the community making sure that students know that they're present, and we're doing a lot more to make sure that we're integrated into all the classes and different services as much as possible.
Now, what's forthcoming? So as you can see, we've been really busy for the past year, trying to get our students back. And it's really interesting to note that most of our students are requesting in-person courses. Our in-person courses tend to fill out faster than our online courses. That's not to say they're not in demand, but for the most part, in-person courses are in demand in our area. What's forthcoming for programs and services? So for academics, we are implementing, once again, our summer math academy for middle schools students at the CEC campus, which will be free of charge. We're also updating our curriculum. We want to integrate the GED and the HiSET component, because that's one of the programs in demand in the community, so we want to incorporate that. So we're upgrading our GED curriculum, but also this upgrade will give our students the opportunity to take courses online, because right now we can only offer the GED courses in person. But we noticed that a lot of our high school courses is the opposite of ESL. A lot of high school students want online courses instead of the in-person. So it will be the same for, we're hoping it will be the same thing for GED, or at least we're gonna have that option for students. Recently, the state approved 2 apprenticeships. There we go. Ms. Kumo is back there. Thank you for your support and your help. The 2 apprenticeships that the state approved are the electric vehicle charger repair technician apprenticeship, and also the sterilized processing and distribution technician apprenticeship. So we are collaborating with Dr. Young, the Dean of Health Sciences, and Dr. Armine to really implement these apprenticeships in the community, and they will be non-credit. So we'll be creating pathways from those apprenticeships to credit programs as well. For student services, I'll let Ashley once again come in and provide some of that.
So as I mentioned, in the next few weeks, we are actually going to be implementing in-class orientations with assessment to make sure that all classes are receiving counseling orientations. Actually, today, we're going to have mental health, bilingual mental health workshops specific to talk about COVID and the impacts of mental health in both Mandarin and in Spanish. We're really excited that there's actually going to be scholarships available to students that are transitioning from non-credit to credit at PCC. So we'll be hosting workshops at the end of this month to help students with the application, give them advice on how to prepare their essays, because we want to make sure that more students transition to credit work. This upcoming, on the 30th, Associated Students is actually going to be hosting an event. It's going to be called Foothill and Chill. Well, there'll be different food options for students, games, and it'll also be the soft opening of our student lounge. So we are opening to transition a space where students can just hang out and chill. So we're hoping that that'll become another place that really is student run. It feels like home to them. It's in room 136, which is right in the courtyard area towards the back. Yes, and there's like a nice little patio outside too, so it's a nice like indoor-outdoor space. And then the other thing that we have, yeah, those are like the two major ones.
And as you can see, a lot of the programs, academics and student services, we're trying really hard to connect with our credit counterparts because we don't want to work on silos. We're not an independent institution. We're part of one district. So we're really trying to, very strong on our efforts on connecting with the credit counterparts and working with the credit, such as associated students, having to go over there and have that connection with students. Because even though our students are non-credit and are taking courses in the community or taking courses at CEC, they're still part of Pasadena City College. They're still PCC students, they're still Lancers. So we want to really plant the seed that we're part of the same institution and have that sense of belonging for our students. And the last picture we had is we are non-credit. So these are from last year, our commencement for our high school diploma students. And the bottom is the new activity that we implemented through the Student Equity Plan, which we call the Student Voices. We had the opportunity to host forums for our students and really have an open floor for them to share their experience of how they felt when they enrolled, how they felt about the application process, and really hear from their experiences and provide us so much information on how we can enhance and improve our services and programs to better meet their needs. So that was a great opportunity for our students, a great activity to have as part of the Student Equity. So I really want to thank the Student Equity Office for allowing us to be part of the plan and for also allowing us to implement those activities for our non-credit students that deserve to be heard. And with that, there's our contact info. Any questions, concerns, doubts, comments? No. Oh, thank you so much. Thank you so much.
See, now it's not possible for y'all to leave here ignorant of what is happening at non-credit, which is just amazing. All of that is just fabulous, and it's great to see that transformation taking place, and just hearing what's happening with the faculty and the programming, and that is just a gem of a program. So thank you very much for presenting on that. So are there any questions out there in general? Or, well, I know one thing we could do. We could sing happy birthday to Jackie Johnson. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Cha-cha-cha. Happy birthday, dear Jackie. Cha-cha-cha. Happy birthday to you. Woohoo! Our Pisces athletic director over there. All right, okay, that's done. Any questions or anything? I got a lot of vice presidents in the room. They could answer some questions if you got one. No? Okay, wait a minute, Francis. What? Yes. And I want to emphasize that a lot of that wasn't happening 3 years ago. So, I mean, this is building a program and just, basically looking at it as a blank canvas and saying what is possible. And it's so in the spirit and the mission of what we do here at Pasadena City College, right? We identify groups, potential students, community members, what is it we need, and we figure it out. Sometimes it's in non-credit, sometimes it's here, but it's just part of this continuum of what we do, and it's really exciting to see. Francisco, did you want to say something?
Yes, and I do want to share, it takes a village to really take all I can't take the credit for it. The faculty and staff have been amazing. Our department chairs have been amazing on this growth. So it's been a year of hard work. Exactly a year it's been. But I do want to thank Dr. Antojonas, Dr. Ramirez for their support, because I know without their support, we couldn't get where we are. We had a few things that I had to bring to Dr. Ramirez for her approval. So I do want to appreciate that support. I want to appreciate your support on everything we've done. And like I said, Caroline Corey and the other department chairs, Liliana Martinez-Kaufman, and Mariela Baldo, who were very supportive, continue to be very supportive on implementing new programs and services.
All right. Well, thank you, everyone. You're still on. Oh, I'm sorry. TJ. Oh, wait a minute.
Yes, is any of you here from anyone in the community that they want to implement certain programs, please be more than happy to refer them to me, and then I'll work with them, and I'll work with our fiscal department and our contracts department on creating an MOU. But before I do that, I typically give an overview on non-credit to the potential community partners so they understand our logistics and they understand what non-credit means. So that way they know what they're getting themselves into. So I always meet with them and give them overview, and then we move to step 2, which is creating the MOU and establishing the partnership and selecting the courses that that particular area may need. Because all different areas of Pasadena are different. So one area may need ESL, but another area may not. They may need computers. So we do want to be intentional on the needs of that particular area to provide the best service or the best course of action.
Yes, Dr. Corey.
Flyers right near the cookies.
Okay,
Cookies,
yeah.
flyers. Take
Remember, there's
flyers.
lots of unhealthy food to eat still, and the flyers are near the unhealthy food. So it's perfect. It's just perfect. All right. Well, thank you, everyone, for coming. I really appreciate it. And our next one is next month sometime. I don't know the date right off the top of my head, and I don't know who my next victim is who will be presenting. Actually, I kind of do know who my next victim is. I'm looking at TJ. I'm thinking this might be a good month to talk about technology, and it might be a good month to talk about that new phone system with all those pretty phones on our desk and all kinds of ideas you have coming up. What do you think? Do you think, TJ? All righty. Well, I think we found you are being voluntold. All right. Thank you, everyone.